Hi everyone, this is Perfume Coast, so welcome to my channel. Today we've got part 7 of series dedicated to underrated perfumes in my collection. Now this one is all about the note of orange blossom. And without further ado, let's dive straight into the ocean of perfumes. Now overall, as far as orange blossom profile is concerned, as mentioned in my video dedicated to neroli, I tend to subdivide this category into two wide groups. One of them belongs in this animalic carnal territory, and the other one leans more in the clean, almost fabric softener direction. And that's precisely how I like my orange scents to be. Clean, but natural, but touch chemical as well, which altogether makes the profile quite Moorish to me. Also, I need to mention that as far as orange blossom is concerned, it's a perfect profile to get you transitioned into a warmer climate or season, because whilst remaining fresh and effervescent, it provides you this extra touch of longevity that many summer scents, for example, citrus-forward scents, are missing, because citruses are, of course, fleeting notes. So let's get back to the review of fragrances nonetheless. And the first one I'd like to introduce to you is called Fleur d'Oranger by the French house Molinard. So this house is located in the province of Grasse, and Grasse is of course very well famous for growing beautiful flowers and aromatic herbs, which oftentimes are used in perfumery as well. So, but also, I consider this house quite underrated due to the fact that whilst they create those beautiful masterpieces, they somehow manage to keep the price range quite affordable. For example, this scent was bought by me by as little as 75 euros, and overall a lot of fragrances of this house remain within $100 mark, I think. However, let's take a look at the notes. So, according to Fragrantica, what we've got on the top is bergamot, cypress, lavender, and fig. In the middle, there's neroli, petitgrain, jasmine, and rose. And finally, in the base, there's orange blossom and musk. So, despite orange blossom is located in the bottom of the list, as we've just seen, this is precisely what I'm smelling from the first spritz. So the fragrance opens up to me with this tangy and citrusy orange blossom, which is followed by pine-like and aromatic accords straight away. And of course, pine-like accords are coming from cypress and aromatic accord is coming from lavender. Lavender is not overpowering here in any way, but altogether it creates some, bitterish, laundresque effect that I'm enjoying, as I've mentioned previously. However, in 5 minutes time somewhere, this is not such good news to me, because the fragrance starts to go in this slightly carnal and animalic direction. And all this probably is due to the presence of jasmine and the kind of musks that the brand is using. So, and that's what makes the scent quite vintagey and even slightly old-fashioned. So let me also mention a few words about the bottle. I think that the color of the bottle is gorgeous, and the bottle is minimalistic, which I like as well. But the color of the bottle makes me think precisely of the scent that I'm smelling, because the scent has lavender in it, and lavender is of course that purple flower that is bright and sparkly, and that's why I associate the scent of this fragrance with the bottle that you can see here. So in the deep dry down, the vintage accord doesn't go away anyway. It actually gets amplified a bit. However, the tanginess and aromatic vibes never leave the fragrance either. And that's why I still like the scent, despite the fact that it turns into the animalic one a bit at a certain point. So overall, this budget gem is very well blended, high quality material, simply beautiful scent that I cannot recommend enough. Next up is a similar name, the same name in fact, Fleur d'Oranger, but belonging to a different house, this time Prada and it belongs also to the Infusion line. So let's take a look at the notes that Fragrantica is giving us. So on the top here we have neroli and mandarin orange. In the middle there's orange blossom, jasmine and tuberose, and in the base there are powdery notes and cyrinolide. And cyrinolide is the kind of chemical that was created by Givaudan brand, which is famous for creating chemical replicas for natural materials that cannot be used anymore in perfumery, either due to the fact that those materials are hazardous or harmful for the health, or because these materials are not complying with cruelty-free concept that many houses are sticking with these days, for which I commend them so much. So this fragrance opens up in a similar way as a previous one. However, these scents are not identical in any way. Why similar? Because this one is also yet another orange blossom based combo. But this combo is something else because along with orange blossom, there is this iris-like powdery notes. So, and powdery notes, of course, are quite typical to the Infusion line of Prada. So this scent remains clean. It never enters into any animalic direction, which is good news to me. You can detect quite a lot of other white florals here. And the scent is quite linear, but in the most beautiful way, because the opening I get, I like to linger, and that's precisely what this fragrance delivers. It also is quite long-lasting, in my case about 5 hours. Next up is yet another orange blossom forward scent, and it's called Historie de Orangère, and it's by the house L'Artisan Parfumeur. So let's take a look at the notes that Fragrantica is giving us. So on the top we've got neroli and white tea, in the middle there's orange blossom and musk, and finally in the base there's ambroxan and tonka bean. So this one appears to be the cleanest of all mentioned so far. So it represents this beautiful bouquet of orange blossom and neroli. And neroli, in my view, here as anywhere else, makes fragrance touch sweeter and smoother. One can also detect quite a lot of tea, but tea is, well blended here. It's not the likes of harsh and overpowering black tea, but rather this tea is more of the likes of green-white tea, more smooth and well-blended tea. And tea notes here is keeping the scent from going into the overly sweet direction, which this scent could have easily gone into due to the presence of tonka bean. So again, this fragrance is quite linear, but in most attractive way. And it provides also quite a longevity, in my case about 6 hours. And finally, quite an interesting scent devoted to an orange blossom. It's called Memoir de Mustique by the brand Aiton Bob. And judging by the name, this scent has to do with the memories of some specific geographical place, which is quite famous for growing their orange blossom. So let's have a look at the notes that Fragrantica is listing as always. So on the top we've got neroli, petitgrain and bergamot. In the middle there's orange blossom, jasmine and osmanthus. And finally in the base there's white musk, woody notes and amber. So this one is yet another combo of orange blossom and osmanthus this time. And despite the fact that osmanthus is, of course, is that that flower of apricot tree that provides this apricoty and fruity and sweet vibes. However, this scent remains still clean, citrusy and tangy. And tanginess is coming here from petitgrain, which a lot of us try to stay away from, but not me. I actually quite like my petitgrain to be present, especially in my summery scent, in my citrus forward scent, because petitgrain provides this extra bit of sourness, spiciness and bitterness sometimes, which altogether adds to the sophistication and classiness to my summer scents. So Osmanthus here is quite sweet and fruity, almost entering into the gourmand territory, but it never sort of crossing this, it never crosses this gourmand territory. So in the end, the combo, meaning warmness and sweetness coming from Osmanthus, in combination with tanginess and freshness coming from orange blossom and petitgrain, create this reminiscence of freshly ironed and steamed laundry, but ironed in a very specific and old-fashioned way with the iron made of steel. I'm someone who grew up in the 80s when metal irons were used on scale, way before any Teflon surfaces started to get used for the purpose of creating any burns on our laundry. So, and that's exactly what I'm smelling, this comforting scent reminiscent of clean steamed laundry with metallic touches perhaps. But that's it, guys. This is the last fragrance for this video. If you've liked this video, please like it, please subscribe to the channel, please provide your comments, which I appreciate very much. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.